Welcome everyone. I'm happy to see quite a lot of enthusiast people, and again, more men than women. That's a pity. We usually want to have more women to compete because it's a sport where, yeah, men have again more, how you say it, affiliation for, more interest, being power and strength kind of sport. But my impression was that in the last decade, and more than that, than a decade, for, I don't know, 20, 30 years, that mentality changed a bit, and that women are also realizing that strength and power is not for men, it's for everybody, every human being. So yeah, let's hope that the mentality is going in that direction even more, and it's getting better in that direction, because we really want big lineups for the women in each competition. And we have to say, bodybuilding, it's not only strength and power, but aesthetics. So yeah, if somebody is good with aesthetics, are women. So yeah, why not? Anyway, we are VMBF. We are here with now 3 people, and I would say Hoja doesn't know. She's really looking at me like, what are you wanting from me? But maybe in a bit, if we have women that they would like to do the bikini category, maybe you can help us with the posing for that, because you're really good with that. So if we have people who are interested in bikini, you can help me. Gijs is also here, and he can help us with the posing for men categories. I didn't ask him beforehand, but maybe also men's physique.
My strong foot, but I can try.
You can just look very quickly now at the poses and say, oh, it's easy. I also know it, so that's not so complicated. But he can help us with bodybuilding and men's classic. Those are even more difficult. Men's classic is even more challenging. So yeah, he can surely help us with that. I'm the president of VMBF Netherlands. Bart in the back is the vice president of VMBF Netherlands, and he's my husband. I wanted to say partner, but people want to say, oh, partner in business, partner in everything. I'm the one who's creative and more like dreaming, imagining, thinking, and he's the one who brings them to life, because yeah, in this world of technology, he's the one who has the technology in hand. He's a data engineer, and he's doing everything from the website till design for banners on the stage, absolutely everything. So with the 2 of us and people who offer themselves as volunteer athletes, we succeed to put up the VMBF to grow in aspect of reaching with social media, with workshops, and I'm more than thankful and grateful for them, because it's a small community still, the natural bodybuilding in the Netherlands, not as big as in other countries like England or Germany. We are dreaming and hoping to get to that level, but we still have to work a lot on it. In general, bodybuilding in Netherlands is not so big as in other countries and our neighbors, but natural bodybuilding even less. So this is where we are making a difference, because VMBF Netherlands and in general VMBF is known for the most stringent in testing, anti-doping testing. We are doing off-season tests. We are doing before the competition 100% testing. It's not aleatory, it's not here and there, but absolutely every single athlete is tested with a polygraph testing, so known leugen detector test. And also the winners of categories that are getting a pro card, they are immediately on the spot before getting out of the stage, taken to also give a urine test. So due to the fact that we are also doing them surprisingly, really by just picking up the phone and calling a person, we can have more chances to really clean up the federation and don't let people who just a little bit cheated here and there to compete next to people that are really 100% natural. We have a policy of 10 years clean, so you're not supposed to use any doping that is interdicted by WADA, so that's on the list of the WADA list. So maybe people have done something small, but it's more than 10 years ago, then it's fine. With this limit, we are making sure that there's no advantage an athlete have. Protein in your diet? Okay, that's the only thing that you consider. Okay, the rest is just inexistent. Sorry, one more time? Okay. Well, then it will be a nice switch when you go to bodybuilding, because there every single macro counts, every type of source for macro count. And when we start to talk about prep, then all these things has to be so precise that you're gonna dream about 100 grams versus 102, about I don't know, cutting another 200 or another 150 from the calorie, how to compensate it with maybe extra activity, extra steps, 1,000 steps extra, and so on. So bodybuilding, it's about starting to, when you have the very nice statue with a lot of muscle, and you start to cut, and you start to chisel, and you start to how you say it, to scratch there and there to make it to look perfect. So that's why bodybuilding is a combination between powerlifting or weightlifting with aesthetics. And what you said about volume and isolation, it's also true, but there are even more than that, because when you start to do isolating exercises, you do it for a reason. Some muscle groups are staying behind in the aspect of volume. So basically you are focused on the weight you have on the floor and where it has to go from A to B. And when we start to look at the bodybuilding, we take our body, we look in the mirror and we think, what's missing from this? So things are just really kind of a different focus. One, you focus on yourself, and the other one is focusing on the weight and what you have to do with them. So it's a very, the thing is when you have the two circles and the area that it's covering both, when we're overlapping, is about weight. The method of going somewhere in these two sports are the weights. The weights are the engine. The weights are the instrument to go for where you want to go. But the difference between men's physique and men's bodybuilding, it's also quite consistent. That's why some people have to do sometimes both categories in the beginning to know which one they suits better. We focus on different things. Men's physique, you would say, is very focused on the upper body, which is true. Some people have not so easy times with developing the lower body. But still, the one who will win the category, it's a quite complete men's physique look, and it has an upper body and lower body. Even if we put him next to a bodybuilder, the bodybuilder will win as size in lower body, so to say. Yeah. So in his own category, he still has to be very good. I mean, if somebody who never trained their legs competes in a men's physique, he still doesn't have very big chances. He still has very little chances, because under those trunks, the judges are looking and are seeing there's no work. So it's not like we excuse you, you didn't work your legs, never ever, but we encourage you to do it for the future, and we want you to do it more, because we want you to be in top 5 in men's physique. If you look at the pictures from last year, it's a pity we can't have here a screen, from men's physique, everybody had very complete look. But yeah, if we put it in next to a bodybuilder, the bodybuilder would have been more massive. So it's about mass and massivity, and also how you say it, different type of frames from the judges to work harder on the upper body, so they can get, by example, in the figure category, which is more also focused on the X frame, like the hourglass shape, and you have more shoulder and small waist, but because of extra development of your legs and upper body, you're not so much a bikini girl anymore, which is much less muscular, so to say. So,
Part of the workshop, but not always, to keep it always as a surprise, is a drug test to perform of our athletes. This is the moment when we announce it. The surprise on the face of the athlete is clear.